Thank you, Dan, for that warm welcome. I just want to start with a few things. Senator Gazzoni is obviously being real modest in here. He is just an unbelievable champion for all things mental health, mental illness, substance use, and substance abuse. He is always there, and he always answers the call. I just ask you guys to give him a round of applause for that. Chair McIntosh, your colleagues in the House sometimes, because I'm the policy, I do the policy stuff of it. I'm like leading on the policy stuff, but every time I got to go to the chair to get the okay on the fiscal note, right? And they always ask me in the House, how did you do that? Like, how did you get this over here? Obviously, it's with the support of the chair. So I'm really, so grateful for that he is able to be there for us in that regard. I am also just really, so excited to be here. I will just say, I'll get to 988, but the three people who you all have acknowledged, I've already talked a little bit about the chair of appropriations, but Claudia actually taught me about adverse childhood experiences. She introduced the idea to it. Now, we didn't always agree. And she it's very, right, Claudia, isn't that true? But our hearts were always in the same place, which is for our children, for the betterment of our behavioral health, mental health, and of our kids. And I'm also just so grateful because my mentor in the Senate, just forever mentor, my chair, Chair Kelly, I just learned everything that I know from her and from listening to her. And she just had to take me under her wing. And I really am just so grateful for that. And I just think it's wonderful that you all are acknowledging them. On the 988, the heavier lift really was last year when we had to establish the fund, which is fairly unique in the country, where we have this dedicated fund to support 988, this access point to behavioral health for the people of the state of Maryland. And we have done, again, with the support, obviously, with Dan, he's been very helpful with this, but with the support of the data, which shows us what we needed from SAMHSA, the amount of money we needed to really do an adequate job of being that initial gateway for people into our behavioral health services arena. We came up with that number of $12 million being what we need in the next fiscal year. And so that's where, based on that, we were able to move that legislation, as Senator Gazzoni mentioned. The other thing that we did by making that the first piece of legislation that we did is raise the profile of it. And I know that you all are so familiar with 988 because we live it and we breathe it. But I will just share with you that some young kids came to visit my office, as many times they do, and they asked me, okay, well, what are you most proud of? Like, what's your most proud piece of legislation? Now, mind you guys, I am the lead sponsor on 25 pieces of legislation, so I got a lot. And I said, I'm most proud of this 988 legislation, and do you know about it? And they didn't. Now, these are the young folks, these are the kids who we need to reach and let them know that they have access to these resources and a way to get better, to help loved ones. And I find that to be a significant part of our charge, too, is education that we're doing while demonstrating our priorities and our values that Chair Gazzoni mentioned. And so that is why I feel like it has been so important, where we do have a host of other extremely important pieces of behavioral health legislation that we are going to move as well. But I really am just so grateful for you all's support in advocating for that front end in the way that we do. And I just really appreciate you all and look forward to continuing to work together on this very important matter. Thank you so very much.